Hello and welcome to the reason why I'm allergic to honey now. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new Katy B album, Honey. Katy B is a British electronic music producer, DJ and most famously a singer. She isn't one for international success, however in the UK she has had some chart success with songs like Crying for No Reason, Katy on a Mission and Lights On, all of which I play on rotation. However, her albums have always been a little bit underwhelming in comparison to the singles. However, we do see a change of mindset for Katy B with this new album, and it's quite clear that the focus point of this project is collaboration. With well over 20 collaborators on a 13-song project, it's very evident that she has taken this idea with not just both hands, but like 5. As well as a variety of artists, there is also a ton of different styles of music that Katy B toys with on this LP, such as R&B, house, UK bass, and, oh dear God help us, grime. So without further interruption, let's roll ourselves into this review. The opening track, Honey, has a very classy, down-tempo vibe on the production from Kaytranada, which reminds me of something Miguel would make, and I love it. The lyrics on this is very sexually charged. I mean, Jesus, Katy B, we're only on the first track and you're already asking me to taste the honey off your skin. I like the hard-hitting beats that reminds me of the main theme of GTA San Andreas. Classic. I like the bass line that is about as liquidy as the honey on Katy B's proverbial skin. It's a decent track, a fantastic wank, and a good way to start off the LP. The next track, one of the big singles off of this album, Who Am I, featuring Major Lazer and Craig David. The production sounds very pop, but also quite abstract, like future pop, if that's a genre. If it isn't, it's copyrighted to me now. Anyway, it's got some very cutesy baby chords and DJ Snake-esque vocals on top of some pretty solid vocal performances from Katy B and Craig David. Not the club banger I was expecting from the people behind this track, however, it is nonetheless a thoroughly good one. The track So Far Away features Stamina NC, a vocalist and drum and bass MC, something I've never heard of before, and Wilkinson, a British drum and bass producer who I have been following over the past few years for his lighter, more fun approach to the genre. However, this track left me feeling quite underwhelmed. The production is decent enough with the grooving keyboard stabs, but I was expecting something with a bit more tension in the verse and punch in the chorus. Katy B's songwriting on this is weird and a bit all over the place, and to be honest, the Stamina MC feature is barely her, acting as a quiet refrain and backing vocals for a frankly lackluster song. The things do pick up with the track Chase Me, featuring Sasha Keeble, a great British vocalist, a great British as in good and from Britain, not just, and DJ Reed, we'll gloss over that, who is a producer who delves into various forms of R&B and hip hop. And I've never really heard of this guy before, but I love his effort on this track. It sounds so fresh and exciting, something that the album so far hasn't really shown me yet. Obviously, Katy B and Sasha Keeble killed it on the song, as I suspected they would. This is shaping up to be a pretty great album. Well, I think I spoke too soon there, because the next track, Lose Your Head, is Poop. Poop on toast. Poop on toast with an additional slice of shit. K-grime, which is a genre that I've always disliked. It's so dull, and the rappers on this track sacrifice their flow and personality just so they can sound cool and fast, which, last time I checked, wasn't what rap music was about. The production is equally as drowsy, and not even Katy B could save this one. However, the track I Wanna Be has Chris Lorenzo on the production, who is a brilliant UK house producer who handles the track very well. Piano chords work perfectly with the echoing vocals. This track very spacey and has a great beat behind it. My only quibble with the track is the annoying vocal refrain throughout the track. You'll know which one I'm on about. Apart from that, an exceptional dance tune. Now, out of all the collaborators I see on this LP, the last pair of artists I would see collaborating with KTB is Fortet and Floating Points. These guys were very well known in the electronic music scene for making very experimental and sometimes challenging IDM and even post-rock in Fortet's case. However, we don't see any post-rock here. All we get is this maddening bass line, this infectious beat. There are string sections in this song and piano stabs that rock the brain from being so sugary. This is music that displeases dentists everywhere. It seems like a mess of a song, but it works so well. The track, Heavy, features grime producer Mr. Mitch. Unlike Lose Your Head, this is pretty great. It's very trippy and sounds like a dreamy, watery kaleidoscope of sound. KTB stands out on this song though, talking about love being manipulation. KTB being victim of said manipulation. A very weird and wonderful track indeed. The lead single from the album is next, which is a vocal version of a brilliant little tune from KDA's Shadow Child that was huge in Ibiza 2015 Rumble. This beat is hard and has an almost tribal house edge to it, and the melody is irresistible. However, it is a vocal version that is on this album, which isn't as throwaway as you might think. Of course, Tiny Temper does what Tiny Temper does. We can't change that. However, KTB gives some of her best vocals here on this track. No wonder this reached #1 in the UK, before Adele happened. And we keep the house music going on the track Dark Delirium, which has Jamie Jones on the production, a man who is known for producing minimal but arse-shaking house music, as well as Kate Simcoe, who also delves in this genre. And the results are great. There are so many sounds, from the eccentric bass line to the rapid-fire beat, to the grand string section, harps and everything. KTB gives a great vocal performance, and as always, this is my jam. The next track, Water Rising, features production from Missing No, who blends R&B and grime seamlessly. I've always been quite a fan, as well as Genius, who has previously worked with Dizzy Rascal. So we have a grime track, but with no rappers. Fan-fucking-dabby-dozy. The production has simple elements behind it, but all work together on this grand scale as the song builds. It creates an electric atmosphere. KTB, however, gives quite a mediocre performance in my opinion, especially towards the end of the track. However, it is still a decent track. The penultimate track, Dreamers, features Hannah Wants, who, like Chris Lorenzo, makes damn good house music. The start of the track sounds so dramatic and carries on throughout the track. It is a great dance tune backing the vocals, which do a great job of matching the mood and the tune of the instrumental. You can tell they were made for each other and go hand in hand. And this is a theme that shows up on this album. KTB does collaboration right on this album. She really has thought about every aspect of each and every one of these collaborations, from who she's collaborating with, what they bring to the album, and how they will do this. And the final track is also called Honey, but it isn't like KTB. It can't be, because it sounds to me like a Destiny's Child deep cut with a rap feature in the middle. I mean, don't get me wrong, we all have a bit of Destiny's Child, but it's not what I had in mind for the album closer. Nonetheless, it is still a great song out of the context of the album, which is what I can say for most of these tracks, This doesn't have to be listened to all the way through, and I take that as a good thing. There are some songs on this album that I dislike, but track for track, this is a great album. Thank you very very much for watching, and ta-ra.